Hi, and welcome to Cooking with Kids. I'm Sarah, the Children Youth Services Librarian here at the Spruce Grove Public Library. In this program, you're going to meet my family, my husband Dave, and my kids, Sutherland, Montgomery, Oswald, and Theodora. Cooking with kids can sometimes be a crazy experience, but the memories they make and the hands-on learning that they take away from being involved in food prep and build a foundation for healthy eating habits. So more tips and suggestions for this can be found at Canada's Food Guide online. So enjoy the show.
Hi everybody, today we're going to learn how to make a upside down cake. The type we're going to make today is rhubarb upside down because we got some rhubarb from our neighbors here the other day. I'm going to show you how to adapt it for canned fruits, so if you wanted to do like a peach upside down cake and things like that, then that would be fine as well. So essentially all an upside down cake is a white cake on top of some type of fruit. This is my helper Ozzy today. Say hi, Ozzy. Alright, so first thing we're actually going to do is we're going to put our fruit in so that it can kind of soak in and get the ingredients. So first thing we're going to do is put some rhubarb in that we chopped up here before. And you just want to lightly cover the bottom of the cake pan. Quantity wise, this is about, I think about 2 cups. And then we're going to mix up some ingredients to drizzle on here. If you use something like canned peaches, it comes in a syrup and you can just leave a little bit of the juice in. And then we can add a little bit of tapioca just to thicken it up for when it cooks. For things like this rhubarb, it's quite dry, there's not a lot of liquid, so we're going to mix up a little bit of egg and water and a little bit of sugar to it so it's not quite so sour. So, Ozzy, can you help me with the tapioca? Okay. So we're going to actually crush our tapioca. You can get tapioca powder, things like that. I don't use it enough in my household to carry multiple forms of tapioca. If you just sprinkle tapioca on, it won't quite soften by the time you are done cooking, so this is why we crush it. Here, can you scoop it up? Let's do like 2 tablespoons, okay? And we're putting it right in here. Not too much. Oh no! Okay, dump it in there. Nice, good job. That was pretty heaped. So we'll just put a tiny bit more, okay? And I'm just going to crush it up here a little bit. So we crushed our tapioca. It was kind of flying all over the place, so I added just a little bit of water to it so it would kind of stick to itself and so we could finish crushing it. So we got 2 tablespoons of tapioca. There's a touch of water in right now, but so it's kind of more in a paste. I like to use tapioca because it has a really nice clean taste to it. You could use something like cornstarch as well. Just something to thicken it. It adds a little bit of a kind of floury taste to it or whatnot, but that's fine as well. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of water to that. And about 1/2 cup of sugar, seeing as it is rhubarb and rather sour. Alright, Ozzy. The last ingredient for this base is an egg. So, yeah, there's some tapioca in there already. Do you want to crack an egg? Alright, so when you do an egg, you just hit kind of midway on the egg, like that, okay? Now you pull it apart, use your thumbs. Yep. Here, just put your thumb closer to the middle. Yeah, you're pulling it apart, not too much crushing. That's okay. We'll still use it. Is there any eggshell in there?
No.
Nah. Alright. Well, good thing we washed the counter to begin with, right? Alright, so you put an egg in. And you wash up your sticky mess. Alright, so we got those in there. I'm just going to stir them up here. And I like to make it just a little bit whiskey, a little bit, I don't know, fluffed up. Frothy. There we go, that's the fancy word we use. Alright, so turn it down. Now we have our frothy blend of tapioca, egg, sugar. Alright. And a little bit of water. And watch yourself, Ozzy. And we'll just drizzle it around. When you do it this early in the process, it allows the tapioca to get a little moist and start to soften as well. So the next thing we need to do is make our white cake for on top. Here, I'll set this over here. Out of the way. What you're going to want to do is mix your wet ingredients and your dry ingredients separately. We got numerous different recipes like chocolate cake and other things where you just kind of hurl everything in one and it works out really well. For whatever reason with white cake, it does not pan out so well. It kind of turns into a dense brick if you do that. So you kind of just have to make your wet and your dry separate. Alright, first thing we're going to do is mix our dry ingredients together. We need 2.5 cups of flour. So, can't quite get my measuring cup in this one. There's 1 cup. And this happens to be a 1/2 cup, so 2.5 cups. And then we need 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Can you do the baking powder for me, Ozzy? So I'll show you the first one. You take it in, and you scrape it on the top so you get a nice level one, okay? So there's 1. You do 3 more for me, please. 2, yeah, put it in. 2 more. That's 3. 4. There you go. Thank you very much. And we need just a little bit of salt. So it's about 3/4 teaspoon. And the last thing for our dry ingredients is sugar. We need 1.5 cups of sugar. All right. That's 1 cup. And and we'll just stir those together. Alright, so that's it for dry ingredients. And next we need our wet ingredients. It calls for 1/2 cup of melted margarine, or butter, whatever you choose. So, for those that don't know, these little packets come in 1/2 cup. Alright, next thing we need is 1 cup of water. We need 3 eggs. You gonna help me with the eggs again, Ozzy?
Yeah.
Alright. So, I'll show you on this one, and then you can do the next 2, okay? You tap there in the middle, put your finger right there, kind of right on the edge, and you pull it apart. You don't have to squeeze the shell, you don't have to push in, you just grab it and you pull it apart, okay? So here, I'll start the crack on this one. Okay. Now hold it over, put your thumbs right in, kind of the ends of your thumb, and pull it apart. Yep. Nice. Good job. Alright, so we got our water in there. Then we put our 3 eggs in, Ozzy. There's your 3 eggs. And we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I guess there's a little bit of discussion to be had on white cake. If you're a purist, you don't put in anything that can darken the batter. I don't much care. I like the taste of egg yolks and I like the taste of vanilla, so I put both in. If you're a purist and you want it to be as white as possible and no yellow tint to it, then you would only use egg whites and you would not use vanilla. And then we're going to add our melted margarine. We put that on to beat a little bit just to mix it all up. And I'll just check on that quickly. Make sure none of the egg or anything stuck to the bottom. Alright. So while it's on slow, you just kind of slowly add your dry ingredients. You can use a scoop, you can just kind of dump it in. I think we'll use a scoop for the first bit here. And you just kind of gradually add it in. This makes it so when the cake cooks, it comes out really nice and fluffy. Compared to if you just mixed all the ingredients together, it tends to come out a little more dense. Now the other thing I find with a lot of recipes, you don't want to overmix them. If you overmix them, you kind of take the wind out of their sails a little bit. You make them so they go kind of flat as well. So we scrape the bottom there a little bit. Stir it up. And just because I'm paranoid about lumps of flour, I'll scrape it one more time. Make sure that there's nothing there. But I think we look pretty good. Want to do me a favor? Want to taste test it for me? Use your finger. Let me know if it's any good.
Very good.
So one of those things, always good to double check your recipe. Make sure we got everything. Did we get the flour? Did we get baking powder? Salt? Sugar? Did we have water? 3 eggs? Yeah, you did 2, I did 1, right? Some vanilla and shortening. I think we're good. Alright, so like with most things, make sure the oven is preheated. For this recipe, we're doing it to 350. And if you're using kind of your regular white cake recipe that you would use for a lot of things, it usually gives you a time frame for about 30 minutes. When doing an upside down cake, it's going to take a little bit longer, so usually around 45 minutes. You just kind of go by the brownness on top and then kind of check it with toothpicks, make sure you're not bringing out any batter for when it's fully cooked. But yeah, because there's the stuff in the bottom, we don't have to butter the tray as well, like you normally would for a cake. Then we just drizzle our batter. Alright, so now we're going to put it in the oven, and like I said, it takes a little bit longer than your regular white cake recipe because of the amount of moisture underneath of it, so about 45 minutes is what we're looking at. Alright, it's been just over 40 minutes here. We're just going to check the cake. Looks like it's getting pretty darn close. We're going to check it. A couple of spots here, make sure that there's no soft spots. Looks like the toothpick's coming out clean. We'll just leave it in for a couple more minutes and then we'll pull it out. Alright, and here we go. That's our upside down cake, all cooked. So we're going to leave that to cool down for probably about half an hour or so. Alright, and there you have it. There is a rhubarb upside down cake. Like I said, works great with lots of different things. Peaches are my #1 other favorite. If you want something a little more savory, maybe some pears and a little spice.
Thank you for watching Cooking with Kids, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Public Library. We hope that you enjoyed this recipe and are inspired to try it yourself at home. To celebrate this new virtual program, we will be hosting a Kids Kitchen Challenge. We're asking the young chefs of Spruce Grove to send us a photo of them preparing a family favorite recipe or any recipe of your choice. All participants will be entered into the grand prize draw. More details can be found on our library website at sgpl.ca/programs/kitchen-challenge. New videos will drop here on Facebook every 2 weeks throughout the fall, so join us again soon for more tasty makes. Stay safe and have fun in the kitchen.